How's the beard looking? I just got it at work. Pretty good. What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 63. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. You know what's next. I know that you know that you know that I know that I have to do this every single time. If you didn't mind hitting a like on this video, possibly subscribe to the channel if you are new here. And if you are new here, welcome. We talk about all things karts and parts and this and that and theorem and about my racing and GoPro and anything I can think of. I put on film here that has to deal with kart racing. So what is it? It's quarterly. American Muscle Kart is the official high horsepower open racing, UAS racing, Rung What We Brung magazine that comes out quarterly. You get it when you subscribe to or you become a member of the UAS. Anyway, quarterly, I get asked to do an article, and usually it's a tech article, something along the lines here, how to do this, how to do that, blah, blah, blah. As if, UAS guys don't know that stuff, but some of the stuff's, a good reminder. Anyway, this time I didn't do that. I submitted an article, and it was talking about UAS as a whole, and has UAS hit its pinnacle? All right, so I guess what do you mean, Ben? What does the UAS hitting its pinnacle mean? All right, for that theory to evolve, you have to come with the trip, with me to back when I started. So I started around 06, 07 in open racing, open UAS racing. I was started back with K30s, K35s. Those are two-stroke, so 135 cc two-stroke. And back then, the class was essentially it was our version of clone karts. So you had sedans and K30s, K35s. The sedans were 125s or 131, which is a stroker. And then you had a slew of industrial-based four-stroke engines running against those. Occasionally, they would get a win. You could make enough power, but keeping them together, the sedan was just a race-built Italian engine. Therefore, it lasted longer. You did have some twins, some people like to do freight-trained, either animals or flatheads or something like that. That was legal back then. But in general, the horsepower rating, but in general, everybody was running extremely similar stuff. Now, the evolution of UAS came about, in my opinion, when the rules allowed for the Wankel to come into the lineup. So a Wankel is a rotary engine, like, think a Mazda RX-7 rotary engine. And it was 300 cc's, I think it was. Well, when that came in, that got voted in by the administration. Okay, we're going to allow this, and I don't know if there's a bump in cc's on the two-strokes or whatever. Anyway, the Wankel came in, and it was a very expensive engine. But it made a lot of horsepower compared to the current then sedans, even stroker sedans, with this, kept on hearing about this wide power band, and everybody was freaking out, and oh my God, it's got such a wide power band. That in itself led to the evolution of the BRC. Still pretty prevalent today now, isn't it, in the grand scheme of things? Just past 2 championships in UAS have been won by that particular engine. Anyway, that kind of started this broader spectrum of, should we start to expand, CCs, engine packages, this and that. So with that said, we got into allowing MX stuff. So you're talking about your 250 two-strokes, your 450 four-strokes, Jawas, bigger twins, etc., etc. So over the evolution, that was probably when it's probably been about 8 years-ish, best I can figure in my brain, my math, that the two-strokes, came into existence in the karting world. The four strokes as well. People are shifting. They still shift them. 450s are really good as shifters. But that evolution came and everything. And now the dust has settled. We have seen 2 changes in two-stroke weights in the past, we'll say, about 10 years. or thereabouts, 5 to 8 years maybe. I don't know. My math might be a little off on that. But we haven't seen, a real increase in CCs. The 2-strokes did go up to 300, I guess. And then the 4-strokes have always been that 510 CC, which is, from my understanding, that this is debatable. But insurance companies don't want to cover anything over those CC limits. Okay, well, if we are at our CC limit for 2-stroke and 4-stroke, are we at the pinnacle? Are we back to when I first came in, 17 years ago into UAS, where you had essentially a clone class of 2-strokes, which with the sedans, everybody had, a Buller-Built or this or that. Whoever built your engine, Killiam, I think was pretty big back then. Who could fine-tune that engine enough? Have we gotten to the point, even though there's a bigger range of everybody running 250s, 450s, 300s, Jawas, et cetera, have we gotten to the ceiling of CCs, and where's the next evolution going to come from? Now, this can be in life in general, just like I'm sure generations before us think it's end times. We can't go any further than what we are now. Well, here we are today, 2023, and the evolution of society and this and that, cars, technology, everything kind of is one. Is this the same? Is my brain just stuck in there's no way we can go any further? Or is there going to be a next level? Are we at the pinnacle? Is it going to start to fall off, or are we just going to ride this crest, for a while because we're at the CC limit? We're at the capabilities of the technology now, making as much horsepower, applicable horsepower. You can make a ton of horsepower out of anything, just wring its neck. But is it convertible to getting it to the ground? Now, obviously, people are behind the screen, they're screaming, electric. Well, nobody's done it yet in UAS. Now, per UAS rules, if it's not in the rule book, consider it legal. Now, I don't know about an entirely new engine package or motor, before people start screaming, it's a motor, Ben. Oh, really? Is everything motorsports? Is that wrong because they run engines? I don't want to hear that crap. Motor, engine, yes, they are different, but they're used in the same context nowadays. Let's just, all right, with that. It's engine sports. It's stupid. Anyway, nobody has yet to attempt it on our current chassis as far as UAS. I watch motocross and stuff like that. I know there's a big kind of push for the E to run electric bikes, and they're starting to develop, and they're getting like 80 horsepower apparently out of one of these things. Now, is somebody willing to buy one of these e-bikes, take the end or the motor, I corrected myself, and put it on a cart, put the battery pack somehow with whatever that's going to weigh, and then be competitive at our level? Is it going to last a full day of racing? Are you just going to come back, be running your generator, plug into your cart, and then you're obviously going to tires and chassis adjustments and this and that? What's the application to that? How you're going to have some sort of metering device on your for your throttle? Is it rheostat? Is that correct? Anyway, there's a whole thing in there, but that's as far as gas powered engines. We don't need more. We need applicable. That's where, like the BRC 150, the Team C, that sounds, Team C, Team C, has been so good that they have honed what horsepower they have to get maximum effort out of that engine package, out of the chassis, out of everything, that it's gotten them to back-to-back championships the past 2 years on a smaller displacement engine. Sometimes, there's no replacement for displacement. Sometimes there is. Sometimes you don't need all that. So have we actually hit the pinnacle of where we're going to go engine-wise for the time being? you know, it's absolutely debatable, but this is where my mind goes sometimes, being that that's my, you know, my first love is high horsepower type karting now. You know, I'm experimenting with the concept of going and honing my craft a little bit in the Clone series, but I was thinking about it the other night. I was like, man, are we there? Are we at the high water mark? Have we hit that, you know, all the potential we can for horsepower out of a kart that has the ability to be applied to the ground in kart form? Obviously, there, you know, you could expand on this, expand on that, bigger tires, bigger, you know, this is all, but within rules, is this as far as we could go? Just throwing it out there. I thought it would warrant some discussion in the comments. Maybe, you know, just get people's minds wondering. It's just, are we there? Because anyway, I thought it was a cool topic. I thought it would make, you know, some of you, even you clone guys that don't race these things, clone predator guys that see us in nut jobs show up. You know, I know I say we're very niche. You know, there's not a lot of us when we show up to a track, but every time we get the people lined up to the edge of the track going, holy crap, I can't believe these guys are nuts. It's all I've ever known. You know, it's so, I don't know. I think it was worth a video in itself and worth an article in American Muscle Kart if you're looking to do that. If I can find the link, I'll put it down below in the description as always. Anytime I mention anything, if I can think of it, if there's a link, you can just hit the little tab on your phone. It'll drop down menu, show you all my sponsors, my affiliates, my blah, blah, blah. Any way to get a hold of me, that's all in there in every single video. And then if I mention anything like that, if I can find the information, I will try and put it down below so as I'm not leaving you hanging like, you talked about this, I have no idea where to find it. Well, I try and put that information so you can find it. Anyway, I appreciate the crap out of you guys stopping by. Do you know how hard it is not to swear in these videos sometimes? It just sometimes rolls off my tongue, and I shouldn't do that. So, anyway, I really appreciate every single one of you coming by, and we'll see you next week for another video. All right, later, guys.